Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Propagandacast with me, Imperial Dane, and welcome to another 1 versus 1. This time on wrecked train. Yes, indeed, it's been quite some time since we've seen a match on wrecked train. Wrecked train, indeed. Lots of wrecked trains right in the center. Rather decisive rail line, probably blown to bits to ensure the Germans don't get any supplies. Of course, that will come to bite the Allies in the arse when they need to get supplies further on towards Germany. Nonetheless, here in the northern corner we are seeing exit Templariusz. Exit sounds like some sort of clan, so Templariusz of the 1st Infantry Division, and who shall be facing him? We are seeing TommyGaga, and I also do believe Templariusz there is rank 14 at the moment, although this match is a bit 1 month old. In the southern corner we are seeing TommyGaga. I don't know his ranking at the moment. But nonetheless, here he is, 91st Luftlande Division, ready to show those dastardly Americans what's for. But let's get going. We shall of course have to see how this goes. Engineer team on the move. Barracks being set right up. All good there. Wehrmacht quarters being set up there. Nothing unusual, of course. This map has a rather interesting division with strategic points and victory points being secured by a victory point right there. Although difference is this is a medium yield, this is a low point, whereas this one is defended via buildings and of course can be mostly defended. This one can't. So of course there is this which is easier to hold but isn't quite as valuable. Then there's this which is more rich in resources, but it's harder to hold. It sort of creates an interesting division, and of course forces you to think a bit about what to take, why to take it. Engineers moving about to either side. Rifleman team on the way. Nothing unusual there. Pioneers securing as well. Again, sort of mirrored start. Gliders crashed into the ground. Buildings blown to bits. Bits of building all over, wrecked pickup trucks, wrecked everything in fact, including all these trains. And Rifleman team hitting the field in the south. We are seeing an MG42, and that's actually quite interesting. I'm now used to seeing Volksgrenadiers being the first unit out, but no, we're seeing an MG42 out, rather risky. If well positioned, it can quite pay off. On the other hand, if the American catches it off guard, it's going to bite himself in the ass. And what? He's using it to take this point. That's rather interesting. A bit unusual. In fact, Pioneers moving out though towards the center, ignoring the right. While Riflemen are moving towards the center. Not sure what will be the second unit out there, but I can wager Riflemen from the barracks. Not much to come out of there except, well, Riflemen and Jeeps, and otherwise it's upgrades all the way. There we go, Riflemen on the way. M1 Garants in hands. An MG42 sending up right in time. Might it catch the Rifleman? Yes, there we go. Rifleman fired upon, suppressed. Good job there, MG42 crew. Rifleman not looking too good. One down. Probably Conrad, who never learned to tie his shoelaces. Second Rifleman team, of course, quickly veers away. Does not want to be facing on MG42. Engineers taking on these Pioneers, who will win this duel of submachine guns. Looks like it might be the Engineers, the Pioneers getting the devil out of there. While a Volksgrenadier team moves into support, which is certainly going to looking very bleak for those Engineers. While the Americans are pushing heavily towards the east, securing that fuel point instead, which will certainly grant them the fuel advantage. If they can hold it, that is. Rifleman getting ready as well, and a third Rifleman team. And what is coming out next? Another Volksgrenadier teams. One MG42, 2 Volksgrenadiers versus 3 Riflemen, and no flamethrowers for the Americans, I think. This Pioneer team is forced on the retreat as American forces charge in, and no, instead getting into this small structure here. Not entirely sure what purpose it serves, except now serving as cover for those Pioneers. Firing away with their tiny MP40s. Riflemen moving in from the north. MG42 and Volksgrenadiers moving closer and closer. No victory points so far taken by either side. And of course resources are the most important, but that doesn't mean you shouldn't, for example, try taking it early on. But of course But again, it's not the utmost priority unless your opponent has snatched all three right away. And Riflemen coming under quite a bit of fire. MG42 getting the drop on some of them who are not fully in cover. Although they are themselves not in cover, and in fact might take quite a bit of damage. Again, you don't want your MG42s or HMGs in off on any sort to stand out in the open. In fact, one gunner is down there already. A bit unfortunate. Volksgun is opening fire, but there we go. Riflemen are finally suppressed, forced to retreat. Riflemen flanking in from the south. Engineers with flamethrowers. No, in fact, no flamethrowers. Oh, no, there we go. But they're moving in from the north. And Riflemen not looking too good under fire from a lot of Volksgrenadiers. And MG42 ignoring the Riflemen in the south, instead preparing for anything to come from the north. Good move there. Further fighting there. Riflemen taking heavy losses to the Volksgrenadiers, standing out in the open versus Volksgrenadiers in heavy cover.
The Germans are after one of our
and apparently that left Templariusz a bit surprised. That's actually a bit surprising. And the Rifleman team is lost on the retreat. Again, you don't really want to be facing troops in heavy cover while you're out in the open. That's generally going to end up badly for you, even with Volksgrenadiers. Bunker going up. MG42 stopping the flamethrower engineers there. And I'm not entirely sure if he's actually being truthful there or if he's just being sarcastic. At least I will waste a bit of your time. Well, seems cheerful at the moment. Mortar opening up. We're actually seeing a weapon support center. Interesting, although he's lost the Rifleman team, so we'll clearly have to replace that. But mortar opens up. Certainly interesting there. Volksgrenadiers under a bit of fire, getting behind one of the flying apart train carts. Riflemen moving in. Mortar also getting closer. Volksgrenadiers holding up a nice position there. Some pulling back though. Perhaps aware of that mortar. They don't want to be clumped up, which is actually a good idea. Engineer moving across open territory. Not so fortunate, but scorching quite a few Volksgrenadiers. Good job there. Mortar rounds keep landing, but not hitting anything really. Medic bunker up. MG42 opening up. A second MG42 up for the Wehrmacht. Engineers getting suppressed and forced to retreat.
Front shifting. Routes are grabbing territory.
American forces rather heavily pressed as Germans are moving in from all sides. And I seem to have a bit of a cold. Another Rifleman team out. So it looks like Templariusz is penned in a bit at the moment. MG42 advancing forwards into the range of the mortar. That's what you call a bit uncertain. That's a good idea. There we go. Two Rifleman teams instantly suppressed. Will the mortar get the drop on this one? I cannot say. And a trio center is ready. Riflemen moving on this MG42. They will not continue the hunt apparently, but do get one MG42 gunner as he retreats. Medic station is up. Medic bunker it is. Dragging in some wounded Volksgrenadiers to the bunker. Perhaps in a wounded MG42 gunner, who knows. MG42, they're suppressing these rounds very instantly as they're trying to move in there. Good, solid, strong position from the Wehrmacht. Templariusz seems to have lost something mentally, as he's just sort of lost some of his aggression and seems to be a bit reckless now. Moving in from the east, getting a drop on these Volksgrenadiers, but quickly stopping as well. Mortar rounds firing in here. Volksgrenadiers right in the line of fire of the mortar. MG42 cleared out. That was certainly nice. Large Volksgrenadier force moving in. Volksgrenadiers here coming under fire from the flamethrower. 30 Volksgrenadiers actually now on the field. Flamethrowers getting nice line of sight there on these Volksgrenadiers in heavy cover. Of course, flamethrowers do quite a nice bit of damage to Volksgrenadiers in heavy cover. Mortar opening up as well. Might it get some kills on the Volksgrenadiers? There we go. 2 killed. My goodness, sending them flying through the air. Second MG42 moving in. Second one recruit by the Pioneers. Interesting move. Might get the drop on this one. Clear it out. Looks like it. Or will the MG42 make it out of there? Apparently not. Apparently. Oh dear. Will he make it out of there? running with that heavy tripod mounted MG42. The gunner miraculously survives. Volkswagen is reinforces near TommyGaga's bunker. Hauptmann Tommy. So of course he has gone defensive. Bit of engagement here versus Volkswagen and Rifleman. Volkswagen might get torn apart. There we go. 2 Volkswagen is down already. Moving in here. And we are seeing for the fatherland being used. Decreasing damage taken and also making them harder to hit. My goodness. Mortar rounds though beginning to land right here. Once more doing quite a bit of damage to the heavy machine gun. Killing medics and Volkswagen indiscriminately. But they are quick to get out there, and a grenadier team is reconstituted from the bunker. Goodness gracious, that's a good job. And riflemen are on the move. While in the meanwhile we are seeing Templariusz getting ready with a supply yard. No medic stations. No mines. In fact he has a lot of munitions, but he's not really using it. And looks like he has veterans run for this mortar team and might begin opening fire on this bunker. And my goodness, Tommy has all of his units around the bunker, around a high priority target. That's what you call a bad idea. They are probably going to suffer for this. Of course, I might be wrong. And what is this? Puma out. Tommy has gone straight for the Sturm Armory, which is not completely uncommon for any player who goes with 3 Volkswagen and 2 MG42s. Volkswagen is taking quite a few losses though to the mortar. 15 kills so far. But this Sonderkraftfahrzeug 234 will certainly be quite lethal with its auto cannon and machine gun. And there's absolutely nothing to actually stop it. Although an armored car is on the way. Volkswagen is setting up positions here, opening up on these riflemen. And armored car moving in to help a bit, running a gauntlet through the MG42 recruit by these pioneers. More howitzer landing in, killing several heavy machine gunners. Apparently some of his own men even. And continues to hammer away at this bunker. Medics being killed, everything being killed in fact. Quite a bit of territory shifting hands, but it seems like the western part is completely in the hands of TommyGaga. Hauptmann Tommy. Mortar getting ready. Riflemen also. Armored car moving in. And no side skirts being upgraded. Oh dear. And a hit from the Panzerschreck. Down to almost no health. Unless he gets it out of there very quickly, it's going to be lost. And generally, you want your armored cars to have a side skirts, otherwise they will suffer heavily for it. Well, wire being laid down here, but that's not going to stop this armored car from crashing through it. The 91st sign is looking strong. Let's pause briefly for a mid-game analysis. Currently things are looking pretty great for the 91st Luftlande Division. They hold most of the map. They have a pretty good strength in terms of heavy machine guns and armored cars like this one, looking rather dashing right there in front, behind the barbed wire. Rather menacing, in fact. With the medic bunker as well and defensive doctrine, they can certainly hold up quite a bit. And Templariusz really needs to apply some sort of pressure. He needs to get that armored car upgraded. He needs to get a lot more firepower, perhaps some BARs, some Rangers, something to really hammer through. And really, he needs to attack somewhere else where the Wehrmacht commander isn't. Perhaps here might do the trick. But he needs to try and stop and knock out this strong point, as clearly it's not working out for him. And let's go have a look at Mr. Gaga. And let's return the fight to the act. Basically, Tommy he basically needs to hold on and keep the pressure on a bit up there. And we'll have to see how he continues up. Getting now a Kampfkraft center. Puma opening up on these riflemen, standing out in the open, coming under fire from Volksgrenadiers as well. And these riflemen are taking losses. Mortar moving in once more. But certainly unfortunate as Mr. Templariusz has absolutely nothing to deal with the armored car, not even grenades, for example, clear out a position like this. Only the mortar and grenades, in fact, are being dropped on his own men, killing almost everyone, and the last man does not even make it out of there. but a mortar round damages the engine of the armored car. Now we are seeing two armored cars. One with armored side skirts, the other not. Unupgraded one charging right at the Grenadiers, but the Grenadiers miss. Oh dear. This could actually be the bit that Templariusz needs now that he has these two armored cars to sort of act like an armored battering ram, and perhaps slowly unravel the defensive positions. This MG42 tamed quite few losses. Why on earth though he's not moving those armored cars around to flank, I'm not aware. Templariusz killing a medic, but he seems to have lost all temper, all initiative. Come on, use those armored cars, get the most out of them while you can. There we go, moving about. Riflemen moving out as well, engineers as well, really using this opportunity to get up the pressure. Puma getting actually upgraded to an actual Puma. The Puma was in fact the bint with this 50mm gun. The unupgraded was basically the Schwere Panzerspähwagen, but this is the Puma. The gun is from the experimental or the Leopard tank, which never really got completed, but the turret was reused for the Puma. Nice high velocity 50mm gun. And armored cars forcing all these Volksgrenadiers to retreat, running the gauntlet. And what is this? Panzer Command and an Ostwind. Nothing highly surprising there. Although this armored car will certainly be an threat to the armored cars. My goodness, hiccup. It looks like the mortars might finally knock out this bunker. There we go. Armored car moving in. Grenadiers coming under fire. One down, blown up in the air by the high explosive shell. The second one getting repaired, both now having armored skirts, which is good. And an anti-tank on the way, rather predicting that something nasty will come his way, and of course might help with that Puma, but of course he's probably not aware that an Ostwind is on the way. Although I'm not aware as to when the Ostwind actually came into action. I know the Germans had the Flakpanzer 83 Gepard, probably also the Möbelwagen, but I'm not entirely sure on the Ostwind or Wirbelwind. So don't hold me up on that as of yet. MG42 though right here protecting and forcing this mortar team now with Veterancy 2 away. And Templariusz apparently now complaining about the pathing. Anti-tank on ready, although could perhaps stand to be a bit there instead of there. Puma and Ostwind ready though to dish it out on the allies. Armored cars moving forward, opening up on the Puma. Going to be quite the duel. Ostwind opening up. Anti-tank gun moving forward. Ostwind not having much luck with those armored cars though. Although if they expose the rear armor, they will certainly have a better chance. And we are seeing a large force moving in. Anti-tank gun getting a nice shot on this Ostwind, and riflemen moving in, and mortar being a bit too close to the front line. Volksgrenadiers taking quite a bit of damage, riflemen and armored cars. And what is this in the American base? A howitzer, 105mm howitzer, ready to open up. And where is he firing? Quite far. And yes, if you are aware of how artillery works, there is quite a spread, as he talks about there. If you don't have line of sight to the target, I'm pretty sure he didn't have when he fired. On-map artillery is affected like that. That is, if you do not have on-map sight to the target, spread is going to be increased, and range also affects that. Well, that's a weird bug. It briefly told me that was the 25-pounder gun howitzer. That was fun. Well, you live and you learn. But again, if you want your on-map artillery to be the most effective, ensure that it's somewhat close and that you have line of sight. Although that doesn't prevent it from firing straight into your base, I fear. And be rather accurate there. And looks like a Nebelwerfer is being prepared, perhaps to counter, perhaps just to provide some fire support. I cannot say. Apparently the driver of the Ostwind talks about fun little dancing puppets. And once more this Puma gets its engine damaged by the mortar. That's certainly quite a bit of luck. Armored cars getting repaired. Looks like Templariusz is getting ready for another attack. And once more, not probably supported, once more straight into the line of fire of the MG42. Not looking too good for him at all. Now the Nebelwerfer opens up. And what shall be its targets? Right here. And again, huge spread because it doesn't have line of sight. And it's rather far away. A lot of them actually hitting absolutely nothing. Heavy machine gun reinforcing near a new medic bunker. And artillery opening up. Where to?
Base is taking fire.
Apparently trying to hit that Nebelwerfer, perhaps. I can't really say, it's hard to say. Instead hitting the Wehrmacht base, of course. TommyGaga, being the clever commander, he just moves it. Although one is awfully close to hitting there. But apparently this old Entrepot Central apparently absorbs most of the damage. Ostwind moves in. Armored cars getting a bit of veterancy, increasing speed. Although the Ostwind holds the armored cars at bay. Americans finally getting the center, perhaps. Will this finally be it where he slowly turns the tide? I cannot say. Riflemen charging in. Artillery being called in right in this mass of German artillery. And for the fatherland being dropped. That's certainly an interesting way to counter it. I doubt it's going to help much. Volksgrenadiers taking quite a few losses. Oh dear, 3 down so far. Mortar not joining in the fun though. Two Volksgrenadier teams lost. And the Nebelwerfer stands ready to do something. What though? I can't see yes and yet, but might be firing right there. Perhaps just put a stop to all of this nonsense right there. But so far not having much luck in due to no line of sight and rather long distance. But it does seem to have a bit of luck there this time around. Doing quite a bit of damage to these riflemen, but not much else. And what is this? The artillery makes a direct hit on the Nebelwerfer, clearing it out. Grenadiers coming under fire, but might be clearing out this anti-tank gun. Veterans 1 now up for the armor. Armored cars moving in to stop these Grenadiers. Will they have luck? Direct hit to the front. Oh dear. Mortar rounds also landing, but not in time. The Ostwind still stands, opening out now with Veterans 1. Armored cars unable to do a lot with their tiny guns. The armored car does manage a bit though. And armored cars opening up. And what is this? Registered artillery being called on at this point. Quite nice spread, clearing out the anti-tank gun. Oh dear. That was actually a rather interesting use of registered artillery. Not to hit the ones at the closest to it, but to the ones farthest away. Which is actually where it starts really. And a Panzer IV, my goodness. A Panzer IV actually joining the fight, opening up. The 91st Luftlande Division really getting support from some armored division nearby. Armored car cleared out. Second car might also be soon lost. Though why they aren't recruiting this gun I can't say. Rangers nearby with bazookas. Engineers taking heavy losses. The Panzer IV having already done quite a bit of damage in the first few seconds it arrived. MG42 putting a stop to these riflemen. Engineers moving in with flamethrowers to the rear, and Rangers are also on the spot. Mortars as well. Artillery flying in as well. All sorts of munitions flying through the air. MG42 taking quite a bit of damage. Puma moving into support. And Panzer IV on the other side. Grenadiers in the middle of everything. Although they might take a shot from the howitzer unless the barrage is stopped. No, it hasn't. Rangers forced to retreat. And my goodness, are hit by their own artillery. Certainly quite a bit of action all of a sudden. Riflemen with V21 moving in. Upgrade number 1 up for the supply yard, which is always nice. Mortar rounds clearing out 2. Grenadiers forcing into a retreat. And smoke rounds being dropped. Rather interesting move, rather rare to see that, but of course trying to use it to try and take that central point. Panzer IV ready, Ostwind ready. Engineers forced to get out of there, heading a mine. Puma opening up with its lethal guns. And riflemen securing the central point, coming under a bit of fire, but the smoke protects, makes them harder to suppress and damage, which is a rather nice reason to have smoke. So good job there, Templariusz, in using smoke and employing it. And looks like this howitzer is getting ready to lob another series of shells right here, perhaps. And the MG42 is awfully close to this bunker. And what is this? Pioneer team is lost. Templariusz might be pushing through for serious now. Bunker taking quite a bit of fire. And what is this? A run by the armored car straight through the base. 280mm rocket barrage completely clearing out everything in seconds. That was quite devastating, and clearly Mr. Templariusz was not prepared for that. This anti-tank gun is getting cleared out, and this armored car is moving in, getting a nice rear shot on the Ostwind. Anti-tank gun is recruit, although the Ost1 is decruit. 2 Panzer IVs now moving in. Must be the Panzerlehr really opening up some support with those Panzer IVs. Anti-tank gun cleared out. And now really opening up here, and Templariusz gives up, having realized he has lost to some rather good tactics. Panzer IVs looking rather dashing right there. So, what can we learn from this? Well, of course, rifles are nice, but if you're meeting MG42s, don't run into them constantly. Try to outflank them, try to attack from other sides. That seems to be one of Templariusz's main problems. He did good use of mortars. He could have, for example, perhaps have tried getting some smoke down so he could actually rush them with his riflemen. That might have done better. He might also have tried attacking in the far west, but he didn't. He sort of focused on the center, and TommyGaga was right good in using that against him with defensive, with bunkers, with machine guns, everything, which really made life hell for Templariusz. And then of course getting armor, getting Pumas, all good. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed this fight. If you did, why not subscribe or tell your friends, and if you didn't, well, why not send in a replay of your own. This is Imperial Dane saying try to attack from other directions, don't just try attacking the same spot constantly over and over again. Cheers.